All right, so this video is going to be a little bit off the cuff, so you'll have to bear with me. I have a loose structure in mind, but lots going to be off the top here. There's a question that I've received countless times in my DMs. I get it in emails, I get it on Instagram. I see this question so much, and I'm not trying to put anyone down for asking this question, and I don't want anyone to feel hesitant about reaching out to me personally and asking me questions. I love to help when I can. But this question is a manifestation of a greater issue that is not new. It's been around and I've talked about it before. I don't know how explicitly. This is the question. Hey bro, I'm thinking about buying this fragrance, and this fragrance. Which one performs better? On the surface, sounds like a very harmless, benign question. Simply wanting to know which one is the best performing of these three fragrances I'm thinking about buying. What that implies is whichever one performs the best is the one I'm gonna buy. And obviously what that means is that people value how long a fragrance lasts or how easily it is detectable by other people more than they value how it actually smells, which is crazy. In my eyes, the number one parameter of a fragrance that you should consider if you want to buy it is, do you absolutely love the way it smells? If you do, performance doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you love the way it smells, would you seriously go,
you know what? I'm not gonna get it. Yeah, I love it. It smells amazing, but no, I'm not gonna buy it because it only lasts 5 hours. I need it to last 8.
That is crazy. And there's many reasons people say this, especially when it comes to like niche fragrances. People say, well, if I'm paying this much money, I should be getting this much. Otherwise, I'm gonna go through the whole bottle. I'm gonna finish it so quick. No, you're not. If you have like 20 plus fragrances, you're not going through your bottle anytime soon, especially if you keep getting more. So that is not an excuse. Some people just want all their fragrances to be beast mode. They just want all of them to last a super long time, to be smelled by everyone across town. And I just don't think that your fragrance wardrobe has to be homogenous in that way. Have some variety. A couple years ago, I did a video, this one here, talking about 5 weak fragrances and why they're great. I broke down a few reasons why I think you need weaker fragrances in your wardrobe. And I gave a few examples of fragrances that fall into that category. And this is kind of a follow-up to that. I was a little bit inspired by that video to do a follow-up, give you some more ideas, reiterate these points. You know, when I get this question that I alluded to earlier, often my first response to them is, which one do you like the most in terms of the smell? And I get a range of answers at that point. Some people say, well, haven't smelled them yet, which is the most problematic. Some people say, I like all of them. It's like, okay, so you've tried them. My next response to that would be, well, go with the one that smells best to you. But secondly, if you have tried them, then at the very least, you should know which one performs the best. If you really care about that as your number one parameter for whether or not you're gonna get it. My PSA to you watching this video, if you identify with this question, performance doesn't matter. Performance doesn't matter if you love the scent. Get a sample, get a decant. Don't be worried about, oh, I'm gonna spend $200 on this bottle and it may not perform. Then don't do that. Get a decant. See how it performs on your skin. If you really gotta know, see how it performs. But how does it smell, man? Honestly, that's the most important thing. So with that all in mind, I have a handful of fragrances in my collection here I'm gonna share with you. These ones are known to not really have boisterous presence. They don't last a super long time. They're not gonna reach across the room and grab everybody, but they are undeniably beautiful fragrances. They capture me and my attention. I love them when I have them on. If I start to miss them because they're fading, then I can reapply. I lose nothing and I get to use my bottles that I have. I want to use my bottles. I don't want to hold on to them for 40, 50 years. Use them, spray those things. Spray it again if you got to spray it again. Anyway, let's dive right into these fragrances. We'll get through them really quick. First one up here, this one is, I'd say, the perfect weak fragrance. What I mean by that is when you spray it on, it is present. It is not shy, it is not weak. The profile is pretty robust, very fresh, Very mouth-watering, beautiful quality, very cooling, very refreshing. It's not like a fragrance that has no personality and then it's gone. It has presence. It has a vibe on your skin, and then it'll just kind of die down and sit close to the skin. But honestly, it might last longer than you think. L'Humaniste from Frapin. I've talked about this so much. This one, I actually get about 8 good hours on my skin. It's an eau de parfum. However, after about 2 hours, I'm not really smelling it around me all that much. I'm not getting the wafts. Unless I get some on my clothes, then I'll smell it. But if I do have it on my skin, I get up close, I can usually still smell it. Even by the end of the day, it's still there. Not super strong, but it doesn't just disappear. It is an eau de parfum. It does behave like one, but it is a fresher one. It has lighter, more volatile elements, so yeah, it's not gonna last 14 hours, and that's fine. I love it, I'll reapply it. I'm gonna spray it in the air now. Gin, juniper berry, citruses, summertime, beautiful, beautiful scent, beautiful scent. No, it doesn't have the greatest performance, but the scent is what matters to me. That's why it's amazing. L'Humaniste. Here's one you probably haven't heard of. I have talked about one other fragrance from this brand. This brand is called Nuit Nomade. This is one that they call Nothing But Sea and Sky. Beautiful and simple. A lot of their fragrances are not very complex. They don't have a ton of elements, but they come together in a really beautiful way. This is quite a simple fragrance. This is bergamot, this is musk, and sandalwood. Mostly just that. What this smells like to me is cleanliness. It smells like a clean white t-shirt. It smells like clean white linens. It smells like kind of a day like it is today, where it's cloudy, it's gloomy, but it's not like freezing cold or anything. There's something comfortable and comforting about it. It does kind of smell like a cloudy day, but it's so fresh, kind of like the fresh air outside. Musky for sure. It's like a white musk. Has that white fuzziness to the scent. Behaves very lightly. Will last on the skin. It is an eau de parfum. It's not going to disappear in 2 minutes, but it's not going to be all over everybody around you. Sometimes eau de parfums behave like that. Concentrations, just to get this out the way, don't always dictate how strong a fragrance will be. I actually saw a great video by Ashley in Paris, who's a perfumer and reviewer here on YouTube, and she did a great video talking about myths around concentrations. And to sum it up, if I remember correctly, she was talking about, again, a concentration doesn't necessarily dictate how strong a fragrance will be. It dictates more of the vibe and the presence of the scent. And a heavier scent is going to behave slower. It's going to move around the room in a slower way. It's going to have a denser profile. It's not going to necessarily project and be more highly detectable. It's a vibe. It's a certain personality. So keep that in mind. It's a little bit esoteric, but just know that dense concentration doesn't mean beast mode all the time. But this is a great scent. They have some beautiful fragrances. I have a few more I'll be talking about later on, but that is Nothing But Sea and Sky. Up next is one of the newer designer fragrances to my collection from Bottega Veneta. This is Illusione or Illusion For Him. As has been seen in a previous video with Grace, the baby wipes scent, but it doesn't smell like baby wipes. If you don't know what I'm talking about,
you're not watching my videos.
This is also simple. A simple fragrance, but with a lot of personality, not with a ton of presence, but with focus. This is citrusy and woody. I get bitter orange. I get a little bit of this slightly woody balsamic feel. I do get some dry woods in the background. It's a little bit sharp and bitter, but there's this smooth freshness that kind of envelops the scent. This woody, citrusy, bright scent, but with some legs. There's some elegance to this. I would definitely dress this up, but it's a very light scent. I'm telling you, I might get 5 good hours out of this thing, but it smells of great quality. It smells very refined. And that's what matters. The scent is what matters. Who cares if it doesn't last 38,000 hours? Get you a sample. Don't worry about the bottle. Get you a sample if you're worried. Up next is one of the most beautiful tobacco fragrances in my collection. It is unlike about any tobacco I've smelled. This is from an indie brand based up in Montreal. This is called Monsillage Aviation Club. I've talked about this a handful of times. This is a green, metallic, fresh tobacco with coffee and a slightly sweet boozy note, a warm coffee note, leafy green tobacco that's fresh, and again, almost a little bit metallic. It's very understated, but so different, so unique, and quite elegant. I love to wear this with a little bit of heat. It makes it come to life a little bit more. I do like to dress it up. Frankly, I've actually worn this fragrance several times while flying, while traveling by plane, and I just love the way it fits the vibe. I just feel very professional, but I also feel very standout in a way that's understated and not trying too hard to be noticed by everyone. A beautiful tobacco. If you're looking for a different take on tobacco, check out Aviation Club. They have a wonderful discovery set. I'll have them linked down below along with everything else. I've talked about this fragrance once before. This is coming from a brand that makes many other things. They make leather goods and other accessories like that. They're called miscellaneous goods. And they sent me one of their fragrances that they call Underhill Cologne. This stuff really surprised me. I was not expecting much out of this. But this is a very interesting boozy tobacco, but it's light, almost like an eau de cologne boozy tobacco. There's a dry, leathery quality to it, almost like leather dripping with an alcohol. It is comforting. It comes off as a bit casual to me. It's something I would wear on a cool day like this, perhaps. It's not really a very serious fragrance. It's kind of an outdoorsy scent. It smells like the outdoors, honestly, in a very natural way, not in an overbearing way. Once again, it is an eau de cologne style scent, but the profile itself, the personality is not your typical. It's not citruses and herbs. Maybe there's some rosemary in there to add some aromatic, but it's mostly dark, but also light. Check this out. I'm gonna have a link down below. This is a very interesting scent. I haven't smelled much like it. And the final fragrance we're talking about is an actual eau de cologne in the style from an Italian brand, Acqua di Parma. This is called Colonia Intensa. 2007, a legendary collaboration between two master perfumers, Alberto Marias and Francois Di Masci. And again, this is like classic Italian eau de cologne style. This is lots of citruses, lots of herbs and woods and spices. But unlike other eau de colognes, this is a warm, spicy scent. This is not something I would wear in the dead heat of summer. It does have this warmth to it from some richer notes. It has some resins in there like benzoin. It does have leather that's pretty prominent in here. The spices like ginger and cardamom do make it zingy and fresh, mixing with some bergamot. So it is mostly a fresh fragrance, but the core of this has more to it than that. However, all that being said, it doesn't last all that long. It's not a wimp. I get maybe 5-6 hours out of this, by which it's pretty dang close to the skin. It might last longer, but not all that present. But the personality of this is unmistakably refined, confident, classic. It smells so classic. It smells of great quality. I love the way it smells. That's why I have it. That's why I wear it from time to time. I don't care if it doesn't perform that great. I'm not getting through this bottle anytime soon, so I'll spray away all day. You can do the same. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about performance. Don't let that be your number one factor. That is ridiculous. How do you like the way it smells? If you love it, buy it. If you can afford it. If you have to save up for it, then it's worth it. Anyway, I can go on and on. That's going to be the end of this video. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Let's have a discussion about this. How much weight do you put on performance? Is it more important to you than scent? I know there are some different perspectives, so let me know. Let's talk about it. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.